If I want to sit there and watch a cat twerk for 5 minutes straight on social media, I'm allowed to. Stop trying to keep tabs of your friends and family through social media. Let's go. All right, welcome to another episode of Claire here. Today we are talking about the electronics addiction. So before we go into the scientific part, disclaimer, like honestly, with all jokes aside, like seriously, tracking, people don't owe you, like disclaimer, people don't owe you their whole day. They don't. They really do not owe you their whole day. They don't owe you their free time. I owe taxes, but I don't owe you nothing, okay? Like at the end of the day, one thing that irritates me is that we've gotten to the point where we use social media to track what people are up to the point of stalking, okay? Because there's a big difference between you're trying to see, how are they doing, how's things going, but if you're using social media to keep tabs on people, you're gonna have a horrible time because they're not even posting in real time. So we're gonna get into the scientific part, which is dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. And just from a scientific standpoint, I truly feel like dopamine, I just feel like electronics have gotten to the point where it's replacing dopamine, to me at least. But I really feel like we need to attack this problem now before it gets too far and truly have a plan for it. So for example, I have a questionnaire real quick. Questionnaire is number 1, how many hours a day do you spend total on social media? Okay. Number 2, how many times a day do you check social media? Number 3, what is the longest you've gone without being with your phone? Number 4, if somebody is talking to you, do you feel the urge to pick up your phone? Number 5, okay, there's just 5, chill. Number 5 is the main thing is that, do you feel more stressed? Is it harder for you to go to sleep at night because of your phone usage? Those are like the top 5 questionnaires. Like if you answered yes, or if you answered yes to multiple or single ones of them, I can definitely tell you right now, you have a slight addiction to electronics. Now, if you answered all 5, I ain't gonna judge you, but you addicted. So I really feel like there needs to be a push for why this is a real problem. I don't think the DSM, diathesis stress model for psychology, I have a whole degree in psychology, for my day ones, but like honestly it needs to be added to there. Like I don't know if it can go under one of the subgroups. Like there's usually comorbidity for anxiety, basically when two diseases exist, when two disorders exist at the same time as comorbidity. Like for example, most people who have schizophrenia also have bipolar disorder. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, I truly feel like anxiety is definitely attached to having electronics addiction. I'm slow at my words today because I'm just really tired. But I would say the long-term effect, I think, is just so, like I said, I don't have any kids. So before y'all even come to me like, you don't know what you're saying. But I think it's so dangerous to give electronics to children. And it's not from a judgmental perspective. It's just that there's just been countless stories. There's so much proof out there that, yes, there are certain learning programs that are better for you to learn electronically, but for the most part, I feel like there's more cons than pros. Like we've seen, countless stories, I'm not going to reveal their names, of course, because they're minors, but we've seen countless stories of these kids just go feral after their electronics removed from them or taken away. So I really feel like just something as like, it's kind of synonymous with, I know it's going to be a little bit extreme, but it's kind of synonymous with having nicotine. Like it's literally like giving a child nicotine. No offense, but it really is. Like you're expecting someone who's only been here, 7 or 8 years to have that type of resistance to not. Like if you sat there and gave a kid an iPad, they would literally play it throughout the day. There's no breaks, no food, no nothing, no eye breaks or anything like that. Like they would literally just play it all day long. So when I sit there and I see it happening, like I don't judge anybody because like I said, those aren't my kids. I can't claim them on my taxes. And I just feel like you need to understand the long-term effect, because the thing about addiction is just that you start tweaking, if that makes any sense. Like once you don't have it for a while, you start tweaking, you start getting dependent on it, you start getting more aggressive. Like definitely aggression is definitely a side effect of withdrawal. And people don't think it's serious because like, it's just a phone, I can just, you know, it's just a phone, I can just throw it away. Or I was like, no, like literally, like I know some people, like they literally, they can't even last without like 1 hour. Like there's sometimes where I go weekends without even touching my phone, and to everybody's detriment, of course. But there's weekends where I don't even touch my phone. I really don't. It's just, I feel more comfortable. I feel like, I'm more vibrant without it. Like I truly feel like it's literally like almost like a drug. Now, there is a long-term effect, you know, of course, you know, just from a biological perspective of, you know, your vision, you get the hurt, you get the little, it's like a little hunch that comes from being on your phone, you know, just even from my chiropractor, like, from me sitting at a desk, I work in accounting, even me sitting at the desk, like, he tells me, like, once a day, you need to stretch your neck, go like this, or you need to look somewhere else and not at the screen that whole time. So even from that perspective, like there's a scientific part about it, you know, just going like this. But I think it's just psychologically, like it's so pertinent that we fix this. Now there are pros because especially for, you know, the hearing and, you know, sight impaired, there are a lot of pros, you know, to electronics. Like, you know, you have the speak talk, which helps, you know, with Siri, helps with those people. But for the most part, like, it's just, there's so many addictive qualities. And like, you know, just to, you know, go back to my first point with people keeping tabs on people, like, I think it's not wise. I don't see the point of tracking people through that. Like, people do not owe you their whole day. They don't. Whatever they do in their spare time, whatever they do in their free time. Like, if you see somebody gets off at 5 o'clock, like, I'm the type of person that if I see you get off at 5 o'clock, I'm not calling you at 5:02. I'll probably call you at 5:45. I'll probably call you at 6:30. I might even call you the next day. Like, you do not, no one is allotted your time. Like, back in the day, I mean, look at back in the day, like, before it would just be like, hey, just meet me at this spot. You just hope that person meets you at that spot. You just would hope that person meets you at that spot and you go about your business. But like, that's why it's like, that's how I know the addiction to electronics. Like, you know, there's been plenty of times where people are just like, oh, well, I had messaged you, but then I did this, I did that. It was like, listen, I'm the type of person where I get overwhelmed very quickly. I have a lot of friends, okay? And when I sit there and I see that you've messaged me on every streaming platform, like, it's going to be hard for me to reply back to all of those. Cause I'm just like, do I combine them? You know, like it's just one of those things where it's just like, I truly believe that there is an addiction to electronics. And like you said, this is not to, you know, roast anybody or anything like that. But I just feel like psychologically, like, I'm just not built for it. I'm not built to sit there and sit up on somebody's platform all day. And, you know, a lot of people sit there and be like, well, you're a content creator. I was like, but am I really online? Because I'm not. I literally drop off. I literally make my video, edit, drop off, do my teaser video, drop off, and I'm just done after that. Like, it's just, I feel more freer. And of course, you know, with y'all not knowing how to hold a drop of water, I'm going to find out whatever's going on anyways, whether it's by courier pigeon or by symbols or whatever. Like, I'm going to find out regardless because y'all can't hold water. So there's no secret that would even happen that I would never even know about. You guys are going to let us know somehow. But that behooves me to my next point is that I truly feel like even with like relationships, I would feel like, you know, in a relationship that it would ruin that too, because I feel like some people feel like they need an instant reply back from their partner. And I'm just like, this is not good. I was like, this is not good. Like, I may be that person that this video becomes like 2-3 years later down the line becomes viral because you guys finally listened to me. But I truly feel like that's one of the reasons why relationships are where they're at, because like you're texting this person all day long, back to back, no type of space, no type of time for adventures to happen, no stories to bring back. You know everything. And then you sit there and look at the person after a couple of years and you're just like, dang, like I know everything about you. Like, there's no type of mystery, and there's no type of mystery to the relationship anymore. And I just feel like I just don't understand how you guys really think somebody owes you their whole time, like their whole day. Like, I don't know about you, but when it comes to response latency, so we're going to talk about that next. Response latency is when basically you get a delayed response from somebody. And honestly, I really feel like y'all got to understand that, everybody is going through something. Everybody. Your favorite content creator, your sister, your mother, brother, daughter, father, lawyer, like whatever. Everybody's going through something. So you don't understand what it took to wake up that day. You don't understand what it took to answer the phone. You don't understand what it took for them to clock in. So when you sit there and be like, oh, you didn't reply back, I was like, you don't know if they just finished, you understand? You don't know if they just finished trying to convince themselves to reply back. Like, I don't know anything about these people. And yet y'all have the audacity to sit there and be like, oh, you didn't reply back, you don't like me anymore. And then on top of that, like, literally, like, once again, I know we all look young, but we are grown. Like, the only time I would expect somebody to reply back to me is if we're both in high school. If we're both in high school, if we're both in the beginning of our college years. That's the only time I expect, like, an instant response. But we're literally, like, think about your day. You do your work from 8 to 5, right? And then sometimes, like, if you have a real job, Alexa, turn off timer. Alexa, turn off timer. Sorry, y'all. But anyways, like, imagine if you have a real job, right? Like, imagine if you have a real job, like, you're from 8 to 5. You don't have time to be on the phone. Lunchtime, you're just grabbing what you got to do to eat. You're probably working through your lunch. And then when you get off of work, you're doing your hour commute. That's your only hour to yourself to just chill, like, diffuse from the day. You get home, you cook, you clean. You do laundry, and then it's time for bed, and then you go to sleep. Like, people be killing me when they be expecting you to just reply back immediately, or reply back, like, just like reply back immediately, or reply back within the same hour. Like, no offense, but I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but, like, y'all gotta understand, like, not everybody has as much free time as you think they are. Like, maybe when they're around you, they're very attentive, but not everybody has free time like that. Like, it literally takes free time to text somebody. And we're all out of free time. This hustle culture, especially for millennials and Gen Z, like, this hustle culture, like, we don't have free time anymore. Back in the day, people could have hobbies, sew, knit, read a book. Like, we don't have time. We're running 2 or 3 hustles just to make one paycheck so we can pay bills that we don't deserve to pay. So when people sit there and don't text you, like, you don't understand. Then on top of that too, like, no offense as well, and this is just, accountability, but, like, are you really that easy to talk to? Because some people, you'll get a latency in response, because we don't know what type of person we're walking into today. People who are easy to talk to will always get a message off rip. We don't know what person we're talking to today. We don't know what personality we're gonna get. So when people sit there and be like, oh, you didn't reply back to me, I was like, are you an easy person to talk to? But my solution is, do you want peace? Because my thing is like, do you truly want peace? Like, peace to me is when you can sit there, no electronics, nothing's on, sit there and be within your own company. Can you do that? If you can't, and you have to have something stimulating all the time, that's internal work I think you should work on. And it's not judgment, it's just literally accountability. We all need to hold each other accountable. One thing I hold myself accountable for, phone case. The only thing I hold myself accountable for is that I make sure I have days where I unplug. And, like, it's nothing personal. It's not like, oh my God, this person said something to me, I'm gonna unplug. But no, literally, like, there's days where I just unplug. I'm just done, just tired for the day. Put my phone away, I go read a book. I make sure, I even had to the point where I stopped reading books off my phone, because then if I'm reading a book off my phone, I see a text message, I'm gonna answer. I see a notification, I'm gonna go read it. Like, I even took the notifications off my phone. So whenever a message comes in, I won't even really know unless I go looking for it. And then I took my notifications for all social media off my phone, to where I could be going viral, I wouldn't even know. But I think you should definitely, I almost dropped this thing. But I think everyone should definitely unplug at least one weekend out the month, where that whole weekend you don't have no electronics. If they're in trouble, call the Avengers. Like, they're like, I really feel like, sorry, I needed my profile picture. But I really feel like you need to, I truly feel like you need to unplug just for your mental stability. But honestly, for your money as well. Electronics are so expensive, but if you definitely agree or disagree, don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here.